You're listening to the Pace Radio Network, here at paceradio.net.
The opinions of the individuals during this broadcast are their own, and may not be the opinions of their group or other organizations they may be involved with. All medical advice during our broadcast is not a medical opinion and should be checked with your medical physician.
Good day and welcome to the Mushie Moment with myself and my awesome co-host, Reverend Cindy. We are live today, Tuesday, September 19th, 2023 on paceradio.net, CBG TV, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, Boxcast, Roku, and Firestick. How you doing today, Cindy?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you, Steve?
I'm pretty darn good, actually.
Excellent.
Be better if it was sunny and bright outside, but it's a good day to be in doing the podcast.
Well, there you go. We started our morning here in Nova Scotia with a lot of rain. I'm really glad I remembered to roll up those windows in my car yesterday. But we have beautiful sunshine here this afternoon, so I'm excited to get the puppy out after the podcast.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh. Hair looks good, Cindy. Somebody just made a comment.
Uh-oh. Here we go. Hair looks. Thank you, Facebook user. Yeah, I got my hair chopped. Once I got home from British Columbia, I had to get it all chopped off. So thanks. Yeah, but people seem to like it. So I guess I might even stick with keeping it this short for a while.
Does that mean I got to groom up and try and look good too?
You do you, Steve. Oh my goodness. So our guest today is a lady that I met the last time that I was out west. She's an amazing lady. I very much enjoyed spending time with her. Magdalena, she is, an Indigenous woman of Canada. She is born in the Ojibwe territory. I've got the notes up in front of me here, and raised in the Algonquin territory. She now lives over in the Sunshine Coast, which is the Salish territory. And she hails from medicine people, and she works with like medicine. She's an incredible medicine woman. She's also an artist, a healer. She's a mom. She is a death doula, which I found very interesting. And I went to see this beautiful woman to sit with Cambo, to have her sit with me with Cambo. And what an experience it was. We were also able to do some hape, and she had an incredible story behind the hape that she was serving. And the counseling and the kindness and the friendship were just all incredible parts of what I experienced in sitting with this lady. So I'm very excited today, not just to introduce her to Steve, but
you've been excited all week, actually, not just today. I'm
really excited to introduce this woman to everybody here. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like you to meet my friend Magdalena. Hi, Magda.
Hi, Cindy. Hey, Steve. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming on. I'm like, as I've said, I'm very excited to have you on. I've been chatting about you to anybody who will listen to me when I talk about medicine since I've been back. I very much enjoy my time spent with you and taking the medicine, as much as that is quite the oxymoron. Hey, I enjoyed running off and taking Cambo. The more you get to know about that medicine, the more you realize it's kind of funny to say that I enjoyed it. But I did, because of the benefits from it. Don't let me scare anybody from it at all. Magda, my first question always is, when everybody comes on, is tell us your story. Tell us how it began, what brought you to working with this medicine, all of these medicines, because you work with more than just the Cambo.
In a nutshell, hey. Well, first, it was wonderful to receive you. It's always wonderful to receive a traveler, and I've been very fortunate to have people come from very far away. So I just wanted to say, thank you for making that effort to come all the way to me, but also for your own health and wellness. Like, really, what a privilege to receive you in that way, and to hold space for you in your process. And you're right, it's not a fun medicine. My girlfriend painted me a sign in my studio that literally says "No Fun Zone," and it's a hard sell sometimes. But you nailed it when you said the benefits. On the other side, like once you've been through it, you realize, wow, this is quick and efficient, and I'm all powered up, and I can go forward with my day. And I survived that. Oh, I could do that again. So you learn through the process how to get to the benefits side. How did I get into this? Well, like you said, I've been on a medicine path my whole life. I come from medicine people. My mother was a very strong medicine woman. I was raised very close to the earth, always with a focus on, everything is medicine, the air we breathe, the water we drink, the food we eat. There's really nothing outside of that. And you're in relationship with those things at all times. So, when we step into excess or we slip into forgetfulness, sometimes our medicines become poisonous and we rob from our balance. And in my line, we have a lot of ancestral suffering, and it's manifested through the intergenerationally in different ways. So my mother, being a very strong medicine woman, also had a huge load on her plate that she had to carry. And, she only did so well with that to a point, because the container wasn't set for her in her life to be able to really overcome or dominate some of those things. So as a result, the daughter picks up the torch and forges on. And I was very determined to make sure this all ended with me. And, I have children of my own, and I'm very protective of making sure they don't, anything that I can do just to prevent any of this trickle down economics as far as ancestral suffering goes, to clear for them, I'm all about. Plus, I've had my own unique set of circumstances that I've had to heal through. And that has led me to so many things, like so many modalities, so many healers, so many medicine people, so many medicines over the years. And I met Cambo probably 2008. I had been drinking ayahuasca for a while. My padrino had come up from Brazil. My spiritual grandmother from Mexico had come up, and we were fortunate to sit on the North Shore in what's called Vancouver and receive the medicine there for a couple days. And on the third day, they said, come down to the Campbell Arbor and take Campbell. You're ready for Campbell. And I went in blind. I thought, oh, well, whatever this guy is serving, yes, because I had already received so much healing and education through his ceremonies. So I tripped on down to the Campbell Arbor and saw this ring of people receiving burns and purging. And I had assumed we were going to be eating something or drinking something, because that's most of the ceremonies I'd been in up till then. But when I saw we got a tribal tattoo, I was very excited. Get an actual shamanic tattoo. So I didn't know what to expect. I didn't have any education around it. I went in blind, and I met the medicine. And at that time, I was very closed off, and I laid in the grass. I went down, and I just watched a spider spin its web. And I watched the sunlight dappling through the alders, and I felt the breeze, and I felt the force of the medicine like really arrive. And I was like, oh my goodness, my heart was going really fast. And I was like, am I going to be okay? And the medicine was so clear with me. She said, I come in the spirit of protection. And I went, okay. And I just eased into it. And she just stayed there with me, and she didn't push me too far. She just kind of rocked me like a child, in her arms, and let me go through it. And I sat back up after it was done, and I hadn't gotten well. I think the medicine people who were serving were like, we're just going to let her butte right there. That's her intro. And it was very lovely, very heart-opening, very warm, very graceful. And after that, my padrino, he took me aside and he said, we didn't come here to teach you ceremony. He said, you know ceremony. And if you want the combo, we can get it for you. And I went. And it took a few more years, and I saw them every 6 months and received the medicine. And on the fourth time, I got to sit 3 times in a row. And that was like a hop, skip, and a jump and a game changer. And then they weren't able to come back to our country because there was a baby born and they had to stay on deck. And my friends all knew that I had been kind of singled out to carry this medicine. So they gave me the push and said, you need to go study this now because we need somebody to bring this to us. We don't have access anymore. So through an interesting course of mishaps and adventures, I ended up in a training and received my initiation and brought it back, and I've been walking with it ever since. It's been keeping me well, and it's not fun. I'm very thorough in my screening process, and I let people know, like, this is not going to be an easy time. I'm weeding people out when I do that. I want people to come in really educated and really having made that conscious choice. Like, yeah, I'm suffering every day in my life, but I'm willing to suffer a little bit more intensely right now to get over that hump and clear the next path for my life moving forward, for my mission to actualize, and or for my ancestors who came before or who are yet to come, because we have the ability to do that in this work. So in a nutshell, there's a lot more nuance in that story, but for time's sake, I'll leave it there.
Yeah, that's incredible. Yeah. Wow. So that was back in 2008.
Yes.
That you really started working with it. So it's been quite a while. And besides Cambo, I know personally that you also work with cacao, and I received hape from you as well.
Yes.
So you work with many modalities, actually.
Well, people are in many places, and there are arrangements of elements and energy in various forms of organization and disorganization. And so we have to, I feel, as a well-rounded medicine person, and for myself, I'll say this first and foremost, I work with things that work for me and that I can vouch for. I would never take somebody where I've never been, and I'll share willingly the knowledge that I have if I can see that, hey, I can offer, maybe this might work for you. This is what worked for me. That's generally been my guiding star in this work. So I know what I know experientially, and because I've had to seek out forms of healing. People are unique, and you have to be able to build bridges to where they are. And sometimes it's a little of this and a lot of that, or maybe less of this and more of this. And, it's important to have things in your bag as tools, and, meet people where they are and build bridges and help them harmonize and balance and kind of attune frequencies and dial things in. And I would say you got to know your recipe.
What are all the modalities you work with it?
Well, I would say first and foremost that a good cup of tea and a conversation goes a long way. We're in a time where, there's this psychedelic renaissance going on, and, ceremonies being touted and flouted and flogged and for hire, and people are really keen to, go off and try these medicines. And there's a spirit with each of them. And so I'm mindful when people want to go try ayahuasca or try DMT, it's more like you're going to meet an elder. So let's develop a relationship. And so having, meeting people where they are, figuring out hearing their story, getting them comfortable and expressing is 9/10 of that journey. A lot of times medicine isn't even what's called for, in that form. But I do work with sananga, I work with cacao, I work with hape, I work with peyote. I don't serve peyote, for the record. I'm not. I don't. That's a Native American church ceremony. I will bring people to the teepee and introduce them to that kind of work. I do a lot of bridge building in that way. Same thing with ayahuasca. People always expect me to serve ayahuasca, and I said no, but I can direct you to the people who you can sit with. I do a lot of counseling work. You mentioned death doula work. I think elemental transformation in and of itself is what all these medicines boil down to. So we can do a lot of that in a sweat lodge. We can do a lot of that in a spirit bath. We can do that standing by the river or a place in nature where the elements come together, like the seashore. And I think it's really important that we understand that our energy and information is related to the elements. We owe our life to the elements. You are an arrangement of earth, air, water, fire, ether, and spirit. So the work for me is generally in bridging awareness back to our divine origins and getting people more in tune with their nature. That can be done for a forest walk. It can be done with MDMA. It can be done with mushrooms. It can be, so many things. But to reestablish the connection, like where there's a cord between you and creator and creator, and sometimes through our ancestry or our family, that cord gets kinked. So I go look for where is the cord kinked and how can we open that up and create a flow again. Like I said, we owe our life to those elements, and sometimes, and there might be a day come soon, heaven forbid, where we don't have access to some of these medicines, or maybe it's just a day where we just don't, So what do we have? We have our breath, we have our voice, we have our ability to think or to guard our mind from thought, how to relate to the earth, how to put our feet in the water and use the salt of the ocean, how to pray well with, to affirm affirmative prayer for our life, like, real basic skills that if you had to run off into the hills and you didn't have access to medicine, you could recognize the medicine in all things and be in relationship with it. Does that answer the question?
Nicely put. That was nice. Nice. Bring balance, grounding, and harmony, with the environment and not just humanity.
Yeah, because medicine can fix a lot of things, but a lot of people become reliant on it. And then, we see a lot in the spiritual community about like spiritual bypass happens a lot. And people are the best they are in ceremony, but they don't take what they learned from the medicine, apply it to their life, and actualize in a way where they're walking with that medicine forward. They're like, oh, I'm hurt again, so I'm going to run back to ayahuasca or run back to grandfather peyote. But those medicines are there to teach us. They're valuable resources, and we need them on deck for acute healing for people. And a lot of them are being over-harvested or overused or misused or used in a recreational setting or just appropriated entirely. And people are taking medicine but not receiving it. So, I'm a real proponent of like, how do we create a container? Through education and communication where we're like, okay, we're going to do this work, but let's set up a framework about how you're going to meet this elder, how you're going to receive these teachings, and how you're going to apply them to your life so that you don't end up needing the medicine. You become that medicine, and you become that medicine for people moving forward in the way you walk in the world. So I would say 99% of what I do is communicating and translating.
That's good. You see, that's one of the things I say is each of the medicines speaks a different language. And if you don't know the language, like for me, I did a few Bufo ceremonies and I had a lot of data, but I didn't speak the language of Bufo. I understood the vibration of love, that the calm in the chaos completely existed. But to fully understand the message, I ended up doing a huge lemon tech of mushrooms, because I've done mushrooms long enough that I speak mushroom. And it just translated everything for me, and the body just went, oh, I understand.
Beautiful. Exactly. Yeah. I appreciate that.
The Campbell, on the other hand, that one's so much fun.
Yeah, there came a point in our journey where we started sitting around on Friday nights with our heads in buckets, and we were laughing. We were like, we used to go to the bar. What happened to us? And things started, you kind of go over this threshold, and then all of a sudden these things that used to be appealing, they're just not so much anymore. And you're walking this whole new Holy path. Oh, the animals are here suddenly.
Nice.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
Mine's
speaking of
going
medicine.
Yeah, some of the best medicine.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
yes.
She's a rock star. She just wanted to get on national TV, I guess.
Woo.
Aw.
Look at the hugs. Oh, Mika, I'm
Oh,
feeling left
God.
out over here.
I can't see them, but I also have a cat on either side suddenly, and they don't normally come in here, so must be some good vibes they're picking up on.
Absolutely.
Well, Cindy and I like to say that because we're at each end of the country, we just coat the whole country with good vibes.
I love it.
when we do
A
podcasts.
rainbow.
Yeah, we bounce them back and forth. That's for sure. That's for sure. So yeah, let's talk about Cambo for a moment. It is, when people ask me personally, tell us about the Cambo or the Sananga, and I'm like, they are two very hard medicines. The other ones can be hard if you resist them. I find, like, if you go in and you don't want to listen to what the mushrooms or the iboga or the ayahuasca and you're going to fight it, then it becomes hard. But if you realize that it's coming to you in love, it's still hard, but not in that way. Yeah. Cambo and Sananga are always going to be hard in that way. Like, they are. Like, why sugarcoat it? They're hard medicines to do. But the benefits that come out of them, I went on about Sananga for probably about 6 months after I first did it, because my vision was incredibly, like, it just, I can't get over how much better my vision got. My night vision was unbelievable. The fact that I could see through the forest, like, I could see through the forest. Like, I mean, it's not just trees in this mass. I could see everything. I could distinguish the branch that went with that tree, 8 trees back. And I could see the squirrel going up the tree over there on the left, 5 trees back. I could see through the forest. It was amazing. Somebody told me it was 3D vision, like complete and honest 3D vision. And I'm like, yeah, that's a really good analogy of it. But Cambo's hard, straight from the fact that you're going to get little burns in your skin to, if it hits you like it hit me on most of the occasions now, you're going to end up in the bathroom, on the toilet, hugging a bucket, vomiting and defecating at the same time while your best friend is the porcelain sink because it's cold, because you're just dying of sweat and you're overheating. But the benefits from it are incredible.
I know. It sounds like a tough sell. I spend the first hour with clients, like, discussing what we're about to do, and some of them are like, you're gonna do what? And I'm gonna do what? Like, it's comical when I hear it come out of my mouth. It makes me laugh. I get paid to to burn people and sting their eyes and make them vomit and pray for their life.
And we all want to come back and do it again and give you a great big hug and say thank you.
And I get
I'm going to have to do one with you, because I only went through the real eye pain. The Cambo was gracious to me.
The lightning in the eye, we call it.
Come with me in November.
Oh, that would be lovely. Yeah. So,
Come with me in November, Steve. We'll go for a day.
It's an ordeal. It's an ordeal medicine. Like, that's how it's looked at. And, we are, again,
detoxifying isn't easy.
It's not, especially to do it in a rapid fire way. And, we're incredibly blessed to have access to this medicine. I pray that those carrying the medicines, that the lines stay open. I pray that, they're protected, and that, the borders stay open for these medicines to reach us. This comes from really far away. We're incredibly privileged to be able to work with it. Yeah. But we, and at a time where, most of our society is entrained to look for the fix, the dopamines, the comfort. We're distracted by these devices, and we're swiping left and moving on like real quick, and we're largely trained out of discomfort. So I was saying this to some of my children the other day, because I have many, and some of them are adults, is do something every day that makes you uncomfortable. Sit with discomfort every day, do it intentionally. so that when the uncomfortable times come, you're familiar with that territory and you know you've got staying power, perseverance, determination, and like the ability to dominate and overcome, because life is going to continue to bring trauma and stress. And I'm not saying there's not grace, or that I'm not trying to project some sort of negative, life is always going to be awful. Life is traumatic since the moment we're here from birth. The forces that came together to plow this earth into a place that was even inhabitable, with bringing water and meteor strikes and volcanoes. It's all trauma, it's stress, and that is to grow us into our ultimate form. The trees, they get wind and water and rain and temperature shifts, and like the snow in Nova Scotia, stress the land. So life is no different for us. And so in Cambodia, like we suffer every day. We suffer every day of our life. How to feed the kids, how to decide what we want to eat for dinner. First world struggle, but we have stresses. We got to get up and go to work. We got to deal with that significant other or our boss or whatever, the hustle, as it were. In Cambo, we come to suffer intentionally. We come with the warrior mindset of, I'm going to go into 20 to 40 minutes of absolute what the heck in order to liberate my energy and pull it out of the holding pattern of trauma. This happened to me. I had an addiction. I had a injury. I had a codependent relationship. I'm addicted to anything. And to remind ourselves, restore the memory of how we were before that trauma lodged itself in our cellular matrix. So Kambo, it's a chain of peptides and amino acids. Amino acids build the peptides, and then it communicates with our RNA and our DNA. So essentially, it's like getting a software update. It reminds the body of the default settings, how it was before things hurt, how it was before we sidestepped health, how it was before we created an imbalance in our inner environment, in our little ecosystem. And it's a microcosm for the larger, in our environment. Our immune system is the environment of our temple, where the ecosystem is the environment of our earth. And the medicine comes to help us rebalance that and restore how it was before we had those side steps. So it's a bit like a defrag of the hard drive. And then once we shed what needs to go, we're very naturally already a wellspring of how it's supposed to be. Most of our mishealth is just a sidestep from our original blueprint. So Campbell's reminds us of our original blueprint, and you can go deeper and deeper and more expansive with it the more you work with it.
Amazing.
Wow.
This is a good time to run to break.
Oh, it's break time. It's time to check out our sponsors and pay some bills. You're here with us live on the Mushie Moment on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Boxcast, CBG TV, paceradio.net, and we'll be right back.
We are people advocating cannabis education here at paceradio.net.
Limestone City Hydroponics is Kingston, Ontario's hydroponics shop. Take your growing to the next level and create the optimal environment with a tent kit, or maximize your yield with an ebb and flow flood table kit. Either way, Limestone City Hydroponics has more sizes and options to fit your needs. Are you looking for the power of the sun that adapts to your budget? Then look no further, as they have professional grow lighting. They have indoor grow systems that are easy and cost effective, with many options to fit your living space and lifestyle. Cultivate your growing potential. We have everything you need to succeed. And if you can't make it to the store, they offer local delivery to the greater Kingston area. Remember, when you're looking for experts to help you grow, then look no further than the locally owned Limestone City Hydroponics, 105 Sunderland Drive in Kingston, Ontario. Call them at 613-548-0420.
Are you a cannabis content creator? Are you looking for a place to have your content seen? If you answer yes to both questions, then you need to check out cbgtv.com. CBG TV, broadcasting to a worldwide audience. Find us at cbgtv.com.
Enjoy the buzz of legalization with Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. From lights to plant nutrients, books, consumption accessories, and more. We've got all your basics to grow or consume cannabis. Visit our info center or take a look at our piercing services and body jewelry, now available in-store through Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. 17 Bridge Street West, Campbellford.
Are you looking to get your medical cannabis grow license? Limestone City Hydroponics can help patients through the process of obtaining their license to grow medical cannabis. What's that? You don't have a doctor. If you meet the medical criteria, Limestone City Hydroponics has a nurse practitioner who can assess and provide medical cannabis prescriptions. What are you waiting for? Contact Limestone City Hydroponics at limestonecityhydroponics.ca or call them at 613-548-0420.
PACE Radio is the People Advocating Cannabis Education Radio Network.
Legacy 420 have an awesome array of cannabis-infused beverages, from pop to Nature's Nectar's teas, all in amazing flavors. What a selection! We even have a delicious mango-infused juice, and let me tell you, it's delicious.
Everything is infused in-house, so we buy our syrup from the same place where everybody else buys their syrup for their pop, and the infusion is done in the lab. It's all canned here, labeled here, produced 100% on Tyendinaga.
We have 2 lines of drinks. One's called our Nature's Nectar. That was our original line that we came out with, and then we also have a line under the Red E brand. We have them in 10 milligrams, 30 milligram, and 60 milligram cans.
What a great selection for a get-together with friends or after a long day. Remember, if you want to wet your whistle with on-site lab-tested products, come see your trusted partner. Legacy 420 out on your road.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
And we are back from our medication session. My co-host has run off. I'm sure he will be back in just a moment. But until then, I will. I've got my proper notes over here. So we are back. We are live here at paceradio.net and cbgtv.com. I hear him in the background. And of course, we stream all over the place. But Steve will be right back in just a moment. I imagine he is probably off taking care of Mika. Mika is his puppy, Magda. She's 18 years old.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she
That's
turned 18
special.
in August. It's very special. He almost lost her a couple of years ago. And she started taking mushrooms and CBD, and she's still here.
Oh, so, brilliant.
So pretty amazing.
You're talking about Mika.
We are. I assume that you were probably off looking after her somewhere. So, of course, that just brought up the conversation of Mika, who's an amazing 18-year-old Dutch Shepherd.
Hang on. She's right here. Hang on.
We have to show
Hold your head up. She hates when I pick her up like this.
Oh, there she is. Isn't she beautiful?
Oh, bless her. Yeah. What a lovely
She's
friend.
Like, don't do that to me.
18 years old, and she still loves to go out running on the beach. Except for Steve has now discovered that he can pick her up almost anywhere unless it's out in public in front of her friends. He's not
and then she gets mad.
Yeah.
She gets mad and she runs away. It's like, oh, look at you run. Wow. Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
It is. It is. So she is a natural medicine user as well, because she is on the CBD and she takes a variety of mushrooms to help her with her health.
7 blend of mushrooms with glucosamine, chondroitin, MSM, and freeze-dried powdered liver.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Gotta love the dogs, man. It's proof Creator loves us, I'm sure. Dogs.
Oh, unconditional love at its finest.
Yeah.
Actually, she's taught me a few things because, as I'm learning to heal, sometimes I get frustrated with technology. Oh, look, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. And the minute that I go, Haba! Doesn't matter where she is, she'll get up and leave the room. She reminds me that I'm upping my energy in a negative way, like that. It's like, oh, I wish I would have listened to you years ago.
It was too subtle back then.
Yeah.
Brilliant teachers.
She was just one that would leave the room when I would get angry. Oh,
There's more good medicine right there. You know, it's everywhere. Medicine is everywhere. Everything is medicine. It's just how you're in relationship to it. And when you're
that's
listening,
good.
you know, yeah.
I'm probably going to steal some of your lines, just so you know.
Oh, everything's free. You take it and run with it. Pass it on. Uplift the people. That's what it's for. It's not mine. I take no credit. It just, you know, comes through. I just try to do my best to keep the vessel clean so that the teachings can disseminate, as it were.
Nice. Nice.
So while I was there, I also we sat and you served me some hape,
Yes.
and a beautiful hape, by the way. And I've shared it. I've shared it with Steve. I've shared it with other friends, and you know, have given some away. It's fantastic. It's very beautiful medicine. And when we sat, when I came back, I said to you, I said they sang for me. And I found that quite incredible that they sang for me. Since then, I have gone and looked up the music of the ladies of the tribe. And that's what I heard, by the way. It was incredible. Like hape is another incredible medicine that I have learned. You know, I discovered it through other medicines because it was kind of like an add-on. You know, they offered it years ago when I did some mushrooms, and I said no because I didn't know much about it. But then later on, the first time I did Cambo, it was offered to me as part of the whole ceremony. And I've learned that it's on its own, it's an incredibly powerful and spiritual medicine. And it has given me the ability to talk with the spirits, you know, to hear beautiful messages, you know, such as the music of the ladies that I was just talking about. And I had, you know, I was leading into a nice segue question there, but it's kind of escaped me now. I might,
if I may,
yeah.
You touched on something that was like a brilliant distillation, and that is that in and of itself, it is a really powerful medicine, and it is that the spirit on that one, because at its essence is tobacco. So tobacco is a talking plant. And it's used, we make offerings with it, or when we smoke pipe, or we lay it down to offer to our ancestors, we don't smoke it. We bring it into our mouth and we puff it, and we offer it to the spirits to ask for their help, the ancestors. Or we lay it down and we ask for help. And it's a very strong spirit, and it comes to move things, to shift things. And it's often used in conjunction with other medicines, but a lot of the tribes, they don't use it in and around Cambo or in and around ayahuasca. It's used separately because it is so strong. And you said, oh, I hope I don't digress and forget what you just said. That, forgive me.
I understand.
Because you said it gave you the ability to talk to the spirits. Key. That's it in a nutshell. When you're in right relationship with that medicine, that's what it's for, is for talking to the other side, is for talking to the ancestors that are not yet born, or the ancestors that have come and gone and will come again. And I think that that's something that's largely missed because it is a tobacco. There's a large component of addiction in and around this medicine. Anybody who's been a smoker or is a smoker will more likely be drawn to using it on a more regular basis. Tobacco in and of itself has been largely co-opted and, you know, filled full of chemicals and sold to people to profit off their death, and other, you know, and that's hard.
I think it was bastardized for more than just that, because it is a crossover medicine that the spirit world gets. If you've made it toxic here, you've made it toxic there.
And to disconnect the people from their relationship to their ancestors is largely a huge problem, and why we have so much disease and dysregulation is because people don't remember who they are, they don't remember where they come from, they don't remember what they're doing here, and they don't know where they're going. You know, the war on our people as an entire civilization, all races, I say all people, all our relations, was to disconnect them from Creator. And that was done in so many ways. And tobacco being our most sacred plant for talking to Creator, that's a great place to hit. So the fact that you got that you obviously established a relationship, it's open, it's wide, and you got it. Like, you received that medicine. Like I say, I see a lot of people take medicine, but they don't receive it. They just take it. They consume. Our culture is consume. The culture. I shouldn't say our culture, because I don't identify with it.
That's the program they just slammed on generation after generation.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, I have to say that my magical moment that happened with the Hape, Cindy was doing a lot of ceremony while she was out here. And my experience with Hape was, you know, it was given to me through some Maya ceremonies. It was given to me after Bufo. It was, you know, I utilized it, but I hadn't experienced it. And she was doing ceremony, and I went out, and it was like, okay, I'll participate in the ceremony. And then a part of me kind of went, if you're going to participate, then participate. And in my learning about tobacco and the crossover aspect of the spirits, you know, the ancestral, we can smoke it and they can taste the smoke. They can savor. If tobacco, in my brain, I kind of went, well, if the tobacco enables that communication, then in my ceremony, I invited in anybody that had ever passed on, that I'd ever loved or had ever loved me, that wanted to experience this in this moment using this vessel. And I invited them in, and then through the inhaling and through the breathing, in my conscious thought was, I bring you in on the air, your photons, your electromagnetic energy, your particles, I'm bringing you in on the air. And through the inhalement and allowing you to come in through into my heart, experience it, and then go back out through the third eye into the energy from whence all comes.
Beautiful.
And I have to say, the experience I had was life-changing. It was life-changing for a lot of things in me, but it was also life-changing in the way I looked at Hape. Because not only did I feel the energy in that come in, I was left messages through that period as well that have been life-changing for me. Yes. It's a very, very powerful medicine.
It is, and it's very protective as well. It's like combo that way. It's very protective. It's very firming. So when the force arrives, it's a fire medicine. It comes in like heat. You know, you can feel the Kundalini rise. You can feel your ancestors arrive. You can feel the force show up, and it's got a masculine quality to it, where it's like, or even like, you know, maybe it's not gender. It's like Mother Bear. You know, it's firm. It's got boundaries. It's like it comes in and it's like a spiritual housekeep. Everything goes, whew, it needs to go out, and then you're just like, boom, boom, boom. You know, like there.
Literally, I dropped to my knees. That's exactly what happened. It was like, whoa! Yeah. I just dropped to my knees. It was like, just wow. You know,
that night though, I remember that night because you did two different types of Hape that night. You did the Jaguar, the really, I mean, it's probably the most powerful Hape that I have in my arsenal. And then you followed it up with the Mother Rose. So he did
I did one in a masculine and invited the masculine side of my heritage, and then did a feminine on the other and invited the feminine side of my heritage.
Lovely.
The Jaguar is, like I said, I think it's the most powerful one I have in my arsenal. And it says to give it in a larger dose. So we followed instructions, and it was powerful. Like I understand why Steve had such a intense ceremony that time.
Yeah.
And through that, loud messages.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And that was like an hour long too.
Oh wow.
Yeah. It was when one does ceremony or performs ceremony, it's not the same as actually being in the ceremony. And in that one, I wasn't just participating, which I had done, I decided to be a part and be in the ceremony. And it was.
That's important. That's an important distinction, because you can sit in a ceremony and, be on the passenger deck and, watching it through your glasses or your binoculars with a drink in your hand, being like, I'm a first timer. I'm just going to lounge, or you can be involved. And the word I caught that you said was invite, like to invite the medicine, to say, hey, like we have access to energy and information anywhere. And we're both receivers and transmitters. So when we show up with that curiosity, that beginner's mind, and go, oh, I open myself to this medicine and I invite its wisdom and supernatural spiritual power to like permeate my entire body and do its work. And I just give over and trust, that it's going to do what it needs to do. And I'm just going to stay out of the way. But, please take up residence here. I always tell people with the combo, when they come to the end of the ceremony, I say, however you're praying for your life, however you intend for your wellness, your health, however you talk to your water, however you want to word it, take a minute and thank the medicine, invite it to stay, invite it to live with you and have your back, and to be with you in your decision making, to allow it to guide you continually. You've established a relationship. It doesn't end because the ceremony comes to a close. If ceremony teaches us anything, it's to walk forward ceremonially. Life is the biggest ceremony you're ever gonna get. It's not all about going off to Peru to trip the light fantastic. It's, can you get up and take care of your kids? Can you sit with what's uncomfortable? Can you alchemize the ancestral healing? Can you go forward and plant trees and remember that we're borrowing the earth from the next 7, not inheriting it from our parents? We have no entitlement to getting ours. We have responsibility to steward theirs, and the medicines have guided me in that way. So I really appreciate in both your expressions, the respect I hear for the work that you and the time that you spent with these holy ancestors, because really they are there. It's not just a substance we imbibe. It's a spirit we invite and we develop a relationship with, hopefully a long-standing one that benefits not only us but those we love and everybody we encounter, whether we converse about it or not, just simply by the frequency that you're carrying.
Yeah.
Or that's carrying you, I should say.
Yes, yes, because as I do the medicine, I'm gaining my original self. So as we grow, we build our walls around us. And as we heal, we have to remove the walls and get back to who we were, or lose the avatar and become the essence of life.
I like that.
It's the journey has been, like, for me, it's absolutely amazing. I get to meet people like you, people like Cindy, people that respect the medicines and share them to help healing. And it's you're right, Cindy. I like her.
I told you. Yeah, I've been very lucky, as Steve was just saying, along my journey to meet amazing people. I have, and each person I meet guides me to somebody new. I'm very lucky that somebody actually invited me to go watch the documentary Dosed and said, here's a ticket. You should really watch this. It's about mushrooms. And little did I know I was going to learn about iboga, and I was about to be introduced to, Gareth and Blair. Then I was going to watch another documentary and reach out to this guy and say, hey, we should be friends. And here we are a few years later, we're still friends. And, and now we're doing this. And it's led me to meeting so many people. And, Magda is just, one of my absolute favorite. I have to be honest. I have gushed about you to everybody. I even called Gareth back and I'm like, oh my God, she's amazing. And, thank them so much for sending me to you. I have learned so much from you. I am so lucky to have met everybody along my path who keeps introducing me to new things and new people. And it's been incredibly, loving and educational and healing. And I feel very lucky to have everybody in my life.
I'm so grateful that that's been your experience, because, container is everything. And we've already been through so much. I don't know one person that hasn't got a store locker of crap and trauma and baggage and, you know, burden. And, you know, people are walking around with, like, they're just bleeding. There's these unsealed bleeding wounds, and everybody needs to be met in compassion, firmness, kindness, patience, love, respect, and given the opportunity, if they're wanting to take it, to move some of that off them, you know. So we're so fortunate to have good medicine people. We're fortunate to have good medicines. And, you know, in the West, where we don't have bombs dropping on us, or, you know, it's like some of the conditions that are in the other world, we really have a luxury to be able to sit and contemplate our spiritual existence and our lives. You know, we have a freedom to be able to do that. So I take that very seriously. It's also not just freedom, but we have a responsibility to do so because we're able to. Where people in war-torn countries are so shell-shocked that they don't have the ability to sit and contemplate who they are outside of this existence of just survival, you know. So for us, we're sitting in relative peace and prosperity. We have this obligation, almost spiritually, the ones who are called and listen to experience peace, to gun for our healing, to clear for our ancestry, and by extension, upload that frequency to the larger field, because we are related. We're all connected, you know, we all breathing the same elements. We're all made up of the same elements. There's no separation. That's why when we introduce ourselves as Indigenous people, we say, this is who I am. This is where I come from, the land of these rocks or waters, because those are my relations. Those are the, when I incarnated into this round to Burlington, Ontario, what is called Burlington, Ontario, which is Ojibwe territory. And it was at the time one of the world's Canada's most polluted smelt iron ore kind of factory places. It wasn't pretty, you know, and I'm an arrangement of the energy and information of both my parents and all their lineage, and also the land to which I was born, you know. So I came in and took that density into my own body, and then my work has been to, like, clear and uplift and clean, and by extension, I'm helping those rocks, that water, that air of that land, you know. And in the time that I've been on this planet, Burlington has cleaned up its act quite a bit. So, you know, we have right now we're experiencing large forest fires out here, and this is the real work, is the elemental transformation. We're experiencing huge forest fires out here. We have like over 400 fires. There's smoke in the air, and I tell people, I'm like, you're related to the water. Your water is related to the water everywhere. When you light your lighter, your fire is related to the fire in your stove, to the fire and that's burning in the trees. It's all the same fire. So when you drink water, we do this at Sundance. We drink water, we eat food, and we send our strength to the dancers who are fasting. We do the same thing with the clouds over the fire. We drink water, and we send that water to the clouds over the fires, because we're related. And that's affirmative prayer. It's not even, oh God, will you please put out this fire? It's because I'm related. I'm consciously affirming that I'm part of the environment in the ecosystem, that it sustains me. It gives me my life. I owe it my servitude. And we're going to direct our energy to, like, the healing and the balance that's necessary. So, you know, there's stages to this spiritual mastery, if you will. The first one's master the flesh, which means harness the mind, discipline the body, get your diet under control, get your balance, get your recipe, learn how not to be at the whim of all the surface noise, and how to follow the roots down to where the problem is, and disroot and dislodge the cause, you know. And the second is accessing elemental energy, how we're related to those elements and how to work with them. And the third is accessing universal energy, which you understand, you've touched on quite a bit in your Iboga and your Bufo experiences, where we start to learn, like, that eyesight is the least of how we perceive reality. As a matter of fact, it's about this much of a giant sphere of how we can actually interact and perceive what's really happening here. So I don't know how to get that all on a business card, but that's what I help get to.
Wow.
Yeah.
I like the language. Oh, what is this? Oh, nice.
We appreciate that prayer. You know, the Western woman has a huge role in the work of protecting the water. We really do. we're prophesied about, like even by the Hopi people, that the Western woman will lead the revolution, and we have huge ordeals coming down the pike with what's happening at the water in BC right now, and what's going on with our current leadership of our country and what they're up to up there. There's no stronger prayer that will ever be made than a woman standing with tobacco in her hand, praying over water. And I encourage all the women who might be listening to this to go put your feet in a river, hold some tobacco, and with an affirmative prayer, give thanks for the reality that you can conceive of as a woman, as a life bearer, as a water bearer, as a mother, woman, whether you've had children or not, with the ability to create life, you come with the codes on how to take care of it. So instead of asking for, please God, come somebody save us from all this crazy that's going on, affirm the reality that you want to see with that tobacco in your hand over that water, and then lay that tobacco down. And a wise man will put tobacco in the hands of a woman and say, go pray with this. That's how it works. That's about the balance.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Wow.
And I will do that. I will.
Pass it on.
That's a cool concept. That's the energy of life that creates and delivers life in an energetic form going into the water. It's all energy.
Absolutely.
Wow. That's a neat concept.
We are near the end of the show. So this is where I ask Magda, any last words, and if somebody wants to reach out to you to receive medicine from you, how would they do so?
Well, I guess the best way would be by my email. I don't know if you have links and things on your profile that you can post.
We can, yes.
Okay. It's thunder, as in thunder and lightning, thunder being, as in human being, thunderbeing77@gmail.com. It's probably the most direct way. And they can just say a few words, let me know that they've, this is how they found me and what they're looking for, and we'll start a dialogue, Last words. I'm so wordy. Last words. Words for now.
Words for now.
It's a real honor to be held by this medicine. I don't say that I carry it. I say that it carries me. It's not fun, and out of all the medicines that I've worked with, it's one of the ones that I would choose over if I could only have one, because it's practical, it's efficient. I've seen miracles. I got a woman off, the medicine got a woman off methadone last year. She's the first and only one in Canada, apparently, to kick methadone. She's starting to bring other people to me. I've seen people get off fentanyl, Cadian, hydromorphone, cannabis, tobacco, alcohol, pornography, codependent relationships, autoimmune diseases. I've seen herpes go into remission so far that you'll never find it again. It works on HIV. It works to create better situations so the body can heal from cancers. I've seen prostate cancer in a 72-year-old man reverse over 30 days with 9 treatments from stage 4 to stage 1. We've baffled cancer doctors with this stuff. I can't make claims, but I can share what I've witnessed, and I've seen, I'm privileged to be in position to help facilitate other people taking on their own healing and to support them in that way. And if I don't have what somebody needs, I have the medicine person in my Rolodex. Remember Rolodexes? I have the connections to connect you with the person that you do need. So I'm like the frog. I'm available, but just out of plain sight. But if you know how to call me out of the woods, we can work together.
Amazing. Amazing. And that brings us to the end of the show.
Oh, hey. And it's been awesome. It's been awesome. I've
fantastic.
Just loved this one. But it is that time again. So thank you for joining us here on the Mushie Moment with my co-host Cindy, myself, and our awesome guest Magdalena. We are proud to be coming to you live from paceradio.net, cbgtv.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn, Boxcast, Roku, and Firestick. We'll see you next week with more exciting information and guests. Much love.
Much love.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network, here at paceradio.net.
The opinions of the individuals during this broadcast are their own, and may not be the opinions of their group or other organizations they may be involved with. All medical advice during our broadcast is not a medical opinion and should be checked with your medical physician.
When you have a pain that's reached its peak, Legacy for 20, it's so unique. If organic cannabis is what you seek, here's your trusted partner 7 days a week. Suppository salves, vapes and drops, topicals, edibles, infused pop. Just when life seems like it ain't easy, at Legacy 420, enjoy a pop freezy. Lab tested products, make them the GOAT. Legacy 420 out on your road. Legacy 420 in Tyendinaga Mohawk territory. Indigenous organic cannabis at its finest.
Enjoy the buzz of legalization with Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. From lights to plant nutrients, books, consumption accessories, and more, we've got all your basics to grow or consume cannabis. Visit our info center or take a look at our piercing services and body jewelry, now available in-store through Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, 17 Bridge Street West, Campbellford.
Limestone City Hydroponics is Kingston, Ontario's hydroponics shop. Take your growing to the next level and create the optimal environment with a tent kit, or maximize your yield with an ebb and flow flood table kit. Either way, Limestone City Hydroponics has more sizes and options to fit your needs. Are you looking for the power of the sun that adapts to your budget? Then look no further, as they have professional grow lighting. They have indoor grow systems that are easy and cost effective, with many options to fit your living space and lifestyle. Cultivate your growing potential. We have everything you need to succeed. And if you can't make it to the store, they offer local delivery to the greater Kingston area. Remember, when you're looking for experts to help you grow, then look no further than the locally owned Limestone City Hydroponics, 105 Sunderland Drive in Kingston, Ontario. Call them at 613-548-0420.
We are people advocating cannabis education here at paceradio.net.